detention of Lyubomir Korba, a Russian citizen. He's suspected of shooting Lieutenant General Vladimir Alexeyev, a senior officer in Russia's military intelligence agency, the GRU. The shooting took place on February 6 in an apartment building in northwestern Moscow. Alexeyev was rushed to the hospital after being shot multiple times and has since undergone surgery. Korba was arrested in Dubai and handed over to Russian authorities. The FSB also identified two accomplices, one of whom was detained in Moscow while the other fled to Ukraine. Russian officials have blamed Ukraine for the attack, calling it a terrorist act aimed at derailing peace talks. However, Ukraine has denied any involvement. The shooting came just after peace talks between Russia, Ukraine, and the US wrapped up in Abu Dhabi. Let's listen in to the spokesperson for Russia's investigative committee.
Принятых оперативными сотрудниками ФСБ, МВД России и следователями Следственного комитета, а также компетентными органами Объединенных Арабских Эмиратов, фигурант задержан и доставлен в Российскую Федерацию. Узнано, что Корба прибыл в Москву в конце декабря прошлого года по заданию спецслужб Украины для совершения теракта.
Now for this, we welcome Mr. Kyiv. He's a former British minister, joins us live from Dubai. Thank you very much, Mr. Vaz, for joining us from Dubai. Now, looking at this, what do you think, or what do we know so far that led to this Korba's arrest in Dubai?
Well, it is a surprise that someone has been arrested, of all places, in Dubai, probably up the road from where I'm sitting. It is a shock that they have made their way all the way over here without being apprehended, because they must have been a person of interest to the authorities. And as far as we know, he will be taken into custody where he will be questioned. This was a very serious attack, which obviously everyone is taking very seriously indeed.
Yes, how come he, was able to reach to UAE? How do you think?
Yeah, it's quite difficult. Just imagine the number of times your boarding pass is checked when you arrive at the airport, when you go to the first counter, when you go through immigration, when you get to the search point, when you then board the plane, when you come off. So there's a lot of different ways in which you can be apprehended if you're a person of interest. But we don't know particularly what the nationality is, as far as I'm aware. But there are a lot of Russian people visiting Dubai. So unless you know specifically who you're looking for, it's going to be quite difficult.
Right. Do you think maybe he used fake identity, etc.? And also, what do we know so far about the two people who were also detained in Moscow for the same charges?
I don't know the answer to that. I've no idea if he used fake identities. It could be the sheer volume of people coming here. If you use the smart gates, of course, you can walk straight through. I don't know whether he was eligible, whether his passport was of a new date which allowed them to use the smart gates. But if he did, then of course it's very difficult to apprehend.
Right. And in the beginning, the foreign minister of Russia, or I forgot which minister was it, but I think he did mention, or he was putting blame on outside forces like Ukraine about this shooting. Now that it has been, now that it's been revealed that it was an insider job, like a Russian person's job, what do you think Russian agencies or Russian government will say about this?
Well, I don't think you can blame the authorities for this. Nobody knew who was behind this. No one has necessarily claimed responsibility. So it's rather a hit and miss situation. Let's see if we can find the guy responsible for this this shooting, and see what steps you can take. So people shouldn't get worked up about the fact that this has happened in such a way. I think there's got to be a proper investigation. There's got to be proper interviewing of this person to see what can they tell. The fact that two other people have been arrested in Moscow indicates that there was a number of people involved, and therefore they will allege a conspiracy.
Yes, we will be eyeing that. Thank you very much, Mr. Vaz, for sharing that insight. Now we stay in Russia. According